Okay, here we're going to go over how to make sure your feeder timing is set properly. That all means when the sheet comes up off the feeder, down the feed board, should hit the head stops, push guide should jog over for a second, and go into the grippers properly. It should stop there for a split second before it goes in. So the first thing you want to make sure is that this upper feed roller here has 1 1/8 revolutions on it. So I'm going to bring this around till the hole is at 12 o'clock. There's 2 holes in that. Then I'm just going to use the hand wheel, go forward direction, real slow, comes down. There's half a revolution, 1 revolution, 1 1/8 that stopped. I'm still turning the machine, but it stopped. So, okay, so from that point, now a couple other things to check to make sure that other things haven't come loose is like these feed tapes here. There shouldn't be any left and right movement. You can see there is left and right movement, but the rest of the press is not moving. So first thing we're going to do with that is come around here, and what happens is quite common where the sprocket mounts on the shaft. This is a transfer drum shaft. You can actually see all the movement. So there's a set screw in there, 1 set screw. See if I can see it on this side. Right there. Set screw right there. It's a 3 millimeter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten that while I am turning it, while I'm moving the shaft back and forth. So I'm going to grab my 3 millimeter T, Allen. I'm going to bring that Allen around to where I can see it. So what I'm going to do is, as I'm moving this left and right with my left hand, I'm going to snug that down, that Allen screw, set screw, and I'm going to move it so it gets there because there's a flat spot on that shaft, and I'm going to snug it down really good and tight. Okay, that's the first thing I'm going to do. Now I'm also going to check the tension on this chain. That's actually too loose, because that'll cause a little bit of back and forth there as well. So to fix that, got this tension wheel right here. I'm going to loosen. Just put a little pressure down on that. You can actually see when I do that, the chain snug up. So I'm going to put as much pressure as I can, and I'm going to back off just a little bit. You want just a little bit of slack in that chain. That took pretty much all of that slop out of there. Now there's one more thing that can possibly cause a little slop in that, and that would be this little tiny chain here, this little timing chain. You can see as I move the press left and right, a little bit of slop here, which means this here could probably be a little bit tighter. And that's also a 5 millimeter Allen. Just going to loosen these. I got to get my camera pod. Let's loosen these up here. Little spark fly. I'm just going to push down on this a little bit, put a little bit of pressure on it, snug that chain up. Much better. Okay, next thing we're going to check is that we're going to bring this feed roller around until the upper feed roller just touches the lower feed roller. So as soon as that roller starts to move, the upper feed roller starts to move right there. So I'm going to go back again. I'm going to come down to it. Just starts to move right there. That's considered zero. That should be the 0 point on the press. At that same time, on the operator side, you've got this cam. You got a hole in the cam. I should be able to stick a 5mm Allen wrench through that hole. It should be, it was off about half of the width of the hole, but that's close enough. Okay, so when we're 0 up there on the feed roller, where it just starts to, the upper and lower just come together, this hole should line up. There's a hole in the side frame, and that should go all the way through that hole in the side frame. Should go all the way through. If it goes and just stops, you know you're not in the side frame. So this is just for checking. So from that point, there's another test we need a 3mm Allen wrench for. This little guy right here. Now where this goes is there's a cam over here. This is the push cam. This shaft is the same shaft that this is mounted on, this operator side cam cluster. So that shaft goes all the way through. It goes over here. See if I can zoom in on that. So there's a hole. There's two holes. There's a small hole right there. There's a bigger hole, 3mm hole. That hole should also, there's another hole in the side frame. I lost my light. Lost my light again. I don't know why the light keeps going off. But anyway, that hole in that side frame, and then this hole in this side frame, that tells me that everything is lined up properly. If it's not, we're going to go into the adjustment stage. So this is on a 3302M Ryobi. It'd be the same on a 3302H and a 3304H. Get all your parts from us here at RyobiPressParts.com.